is going on? Welcome to episode 90 of the Nintendo Powercast. I'm your host, N64 Josh, player 2, Hate Zero, ya boy, ya hero.
What up? I'm back. What up, NPC fam? It's your boy, Hate Zero, your hero.
He's back. He's back. That music you just heard from On Being Human. Check them out on Spotify and YouTube. Good dudes. They play a lot of cool Nintendo covers. Remember, this is the unofficial Nintendo podcast, and episode 5 of the Nintendo Power Podcast went live either today or yesterday. So they talk a whole lot about Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. We're going to be talking about that as well. You guys want to go to audibletrial.com/NPC. You can get yourself a free book from Audible. Books I recommend, especially with the topic today where we're going to talk about the history of Donkey Kong. Check out Console Wars or Super Mario. Both of them are going to have some details on the history of Nintendo, and Donkey Kong is a major, major player in Nintendo making video games. So audibletrial.com/NPC. Guys, you want to start your own podcast? Go to podbean.com/NPC. Become a crazy person like Eric and I, and talk about video games. Talk about your passion for gardening, whatever it is. Podbean.com/NPC. The chair I'm sitting in is from OP Seat. Go to opseat.com. Use coupon code N64Josh. Guys, right now they have a $20 off sale on the Master Series, and I checked. If you put my code in, you can save $30 off of a chair. So opseat.com, Master Series with my code ends up being $30 off. So opseat.com, check it out. All right, we have a few announcements.
Hey, listen.
We do this show live, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on Tuesdays. Thursdays, we try to get it around that time. And I want to say hello to everybody that's in chat. I'm going to try to get everybody. Here we go. Yickum, Mark Square, Baby Ruth, Dubseth, Formaxis, Nightcrawler, Tadawaka, Leprechaun, Kirby Geek, Music Man Todd, the OG Nate Dog, Maggie Poo, Mr. Bot, MXC Fan, Don't Get Eliminated, Riscotta Cheese, Simple Monk, Soundscape, Half Thumb to Gamer, let's see, Addy Soul, I think I got it right, Pudding, Missing Link, I think I got everybody.
Did you do Baby Ruth?
I did Baby Ruth, yeah.
Did you do it like Chunk?
Baby Woof? Snake Eyes, what's up? Okay, I think we got everybody. So welcome, guys. We're so glad you're here. Thank you. It's a bug hunt, man. There we go. There's one name I missed. Mr. Bot 15. Okay, I think I got everybody. Thank you guys for being here. If you're just lurking in chat, thank you. We love you. I'm writing a book, guys. It's called Another Castle. I'm doing the best I can to get this thing out as fast as I can, but I'm not going to rush it. It is just like game development. You got to just make sure it's ready. So I'm working away at it. We'll get there eventually. It's called Another Castle. It will be coming soon. Hey, check out my Twitter at N64Josh. Guys, this is a huge thank you to every one of you that's here with us live week in and week out, that listens to the show, that watches the show on YouTube. We hit 100,000 downloads this last week, and that's crazy to me. In just a little over a year, we had 100,000 downloads. So I'm super excited about that. We're giving away a $60 eShop card. All the details are on my Twitter. They're pinned to my Twitter at N64Josh. You can find the details there. There will also be a link in these show notes, n64josh.com/NPC90. So you can find all the details there. I have a Smash Bros. Cast, which is cool. Come hang out on Mondays for Mario Kart Monday, 6 p.m. Pacific. Saturday morning Splatoons, 8 a.m. to 9 a.m., depending on when I roll out of bed. And I got First Look Fridays starting at 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, looking at new indie titles that are coming out. And tomorrow at 12:30 in the afternoon, I will be streaming Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze, so we can check that game out. So, okay, that's all the stuff. Oof. That was a lot.
Man, I'm tired. You talked so much. I'm tired.
Yeah, exactly. What have you been playing, my friend?
Well, I bought a game. Let's see if this is going to show up. many people might see that reference now and understand it. If you can see it, there it is. It is South Park, Coon and Friends. I am playing some South Park. I'm going to try to finish that game this go round. I didn't finish it on Xbox One. I've played enough now that I can give you basic impressions, but long story short, if you're on the fence, you didn't pick it up the first go round because you were waiting for Switch, or you didn't have a console to play it on, whatever the case, I think it's a good enough port that it's worth playing. Supposedly, there's still a game-breaking bug in there. You can look it up. It only involves one side quest, so you can avoid it until they patch it. It's going to be patched soon, says the devs, so I'm not too worried about that, but it's been going well. That game is South Park, The Fractured But Whole. So Josh loves the title of that game.
It's the best. It's the best.
So playing that, I do recommend it if you're into the series at all, or you like RPGs, or you like comedy. It has all three of those things. So there you go. I've also been playing some Lightfall. I picked it up whenever I picked it up. Was it last week, early this week? Who knows? Time bleeds together. So picked that up. Played that a little bit. I'm enjoying it. It's a platformer, but it's extremely fast paced. It's not very technical, so it's a little more forgiving. The block that you can create as you go is a pretty cool mechanic, and it's pretty forgiving. So you don't have to worry about like Celeste, where you have to be exact and precise with your jumps. You don't have to worry about that with Lightfall. And I believe you picked that up too. Yeah,
they sent me a copy of it, and it is a blast. I've only played it for just the 15 minutes, but we're going to be looking at it again tomorrow morning. So, or if you're listening to this, it may have already happened. But I'm excited to jump into it. It'll be fun. I really liked what I played so far. Quick question: I'm not sure if you're going to play Splatfest, but if you do, are you going Team Leo or Team Raph?
That's a tough one. So I like Leonardo. I mean, growing up, he was my favorite Ninja Turtle. You know, Michelangelo was second, then Raph, and nobody likes Donatello, right? We all agree on that.
Man, burn.
I'm kidding. Everyone needs a tech guy. So, I would say that Team Leo all the way for me.
Oh, all right. All right. Well, come if you decide to play some Splatoon, we can be on the same team.
Oh.
Yeah, Team Leo for me as well. There you go. So, okay, well, as far as anything else I've been playing, I mean, I just talked about this Tuesday. It hasn't been much. Actually, I don't know if I played anything really yesterday. I was going to work on some more reviews yesterday, and then my son was like, "Hey, Dad, I have chest pain. Will you take me to the ER?" I was like, "Yes, I will." So thankfully, everything's fine with him. We still have to do more tests and stuff. Everything's fine with his heart, at least. So that's good. But it was a little scary. But so not a ton of playing. Mostly just been working and stuff. But that'll change this weekend. We're gonna be playing a lot of Splatoon, a lot of Donkey Kong. Some of these indies, it'll be a good time. So we have a lot to get to. I think we're kind of just going to focus on Donkey Kong Country and kind of the history of that game today. And we will we'll leave a lot of these news and talking points for next Tuesday. So let's get into our talking points. All right. Well, I posted the question today about Donkey Kong memories, and I thought it'd be fun to kind of look back on that series a little bit and kind of just look at the history. This game is a huge, like I mentioned early on, Donkey Kong was huge for Nintendo. And when you get to see my book, there's actually I have a whole chapter that kind of talks about this stuff. Nintendo as a business was having to pivot and come up with a better plan because they had put out this game that was not doing so well. So they had 3,000 of these cabinets sitting in a warehouse that they needed to put out a game that was actually good. And Shigeru Miyamoto pitched Donkey Kong, and they went for it. And we got Jumpman, aka Mario, the Carpenter, his pet ape, and his girl. And this working a construction site trying to save his girl from this stubborn ape, right? That's where his name came from. Donkey being a stubborn animal, and Kong, kind of like King Kong, which Nintendo ended up getting sued for having that name. But Universal did not realize that, or had forgotten, or was hoping Nintendo wouldn't figure it out, that they didn't actually own the rights to the name King Kong, and ended up paying Nintendo like $1.8 million in legal fees. And eventually Donkey Kong was everywhere. One of my favorite facts about Donkey Kong: it was they made a cartoon show. Did you ever see it?
No.
Okay.
No.
Did you know they had a cartoon show?
I certainly did not.
Think back to 80s cartoons. Who do you think voiced Mario? Any guesses?
I don't know.
None other than Peter Cullen, the voice of Optimus Prime.
Really?
Yes. So Mario's first voice was Peter Cullen, Optimus Prime. I was like,
That's awesome.
I could not believe it. I thought that was super cool. So that's going
Side
way
note,
back.
Did you know he's the voice of Predator too?
From the Schwarzenegger movies? Oh, interesting.
Yeah. And by voice, I mean the scary sounds he makes.
He makes the clicking sounds.
Yeah. So
that was actually terrifying. Like
yeah. Pretty cool. But anyways.
Yeah, good stuff. So Donkey Kong's been a huge part of Nintendo's past, and I posted the question, what are some good Donkey Kong memories? The thing is, I got like more than just strictly Donkey Kong games. I got like, actually, I played Donkey Kong in baseball, things like that. So we'll read those, but I want to pose the question to you, like, what are some of your past memories or fond memories with Donkey Kong, or even with Donkey Kong in games like Mario Golf or Mario Tennis or whatever?
So I've got a few, so I'll just go for it. So that's one of the first arcade games I ever played. It was just Donkey Kong with Jumpman before he was Mario. Obviously, I knew him as Mario at that point, but one of the pizza joints had that machine and a few others, and it was always fun and very hard and increasingly difficult. But the greatest memory for me was when I saw Donkey Kong Country on the SNES, because I had known Donkey Kong as a character. I'd played him in Mario Kart. He was generally my go-to in Mario Kart for whatever reason, because back then there weren't really classes. Everyone was the same. There weren't heavies and all that on Super Mario Kart, so it didn't really matter. So you could play whoever you want. But when Donkey Kong Country came out, that was the prettiest game I had ever seen and ever thought was possible. The 3D, 2D thing that they mastered, I said, this is the pinnacle of gaming. In my young mind, I said, this is as good as it's ever going to be. We're done here. And I was wrong, thankfully, but man, I spent so much time on that game. The mine carts, I was like, oh my goodness, how can you race in these mine carts and jump, and graphics are crazy. It's flying by. That was an amazing time.
Yeah, and you weren't the only one that thought this was the pinnacle of gaming, because when Donkey Kong Country was first shown off, everybody thought it was Nintendo's next system and how they were going to compete with the Sega Saturn. And it wasn't. It was still the Super Nintendo. And everybody was just absolutely blown away by it. I can remember so I have a sad story with Donkey Kong Country. One, I was at 92% or maybe 98. I can't remember. My little brother erased my game. I've said that on the show before. But yeah, erased my game. During that same time period, the house we lived in, I had this little tiny CRT TV that sat up on this skinny little entertainment center. And at one point, somehow that TV got pulled off and it fell right onto my Super Game Boy and smashed my Super Game Boy. Whoa. And that was the only way I could play Game Boy games, was on my Super Nintendo. So that was unfortunate.
That's a bad day. You lost the TV and your Super Game Boy that day.
Yeah, the Super Game Boy's still around. I saw it at my uncle's the last time I was there. I was like, hey, that thing's still kicking. He's like, yeah, why is there a hole in it? I was like, that's where a TV landed on it. So, but do you remember when, like, there was massive hype for Donkey Kong Country? Like, there was massive hype for this game. And part of the way they kept this hype train alive was by sending out VHS tapes. And you could watch where there were some secrets where you could go backwards, or you could go, find, you had to spell Kong in each level and that kind of stuff.
Right.
Dude, I wore that thing out. I wore it out. I watched it and would, like, switch over to the other channel so that I could see what. It was crazy. It was crazy. And every now and again, I'll see somebody post on Instagram, like one of these VHS tapes or something. Like, I would love to have one of those things in my collection. But did you end up playing the other titles as much, like 2 and 3, or did you end up going to the 64 or what?
I played 2. I didn't play 3, 64, Wii. So I'm excited for Tropical Freeze. Don't get me wrong. I didn't get the opportunity to play it. But I also want to point out Donkey Kong Country also had an amazing soundtrack that I don't want us to slip past because the graphics were so cool at the time. That soundtrack holds up today. That was a phenomenal soundtrack.
Yeah, absolutely. I completely agree. And just the gameplay and everything, it was fast. I just remember getting shot through through the air with the barrels and things like that. Like it wasn't like. It was pretty unique experience. And I mean, I played a ton of Mario and everything, but like, I remember the first time jumping on the Rhino and just like smashing through the stage and everything was like, this is crazy. This is really, really good.
Just imagine how good that game would have been if they had blast processing.
Oh my goodness. If only they had blast processing. So moving right along for me, I didn't really play much of Donkey Kong Country 2 or 3. The next game I played, I was a newlywed, basically, when Donkey Kong 64 came out, Donkey Kong Country 64, and we didn't have a ton of money, and so I was like, well, this is my new game. I'm gonna play, and my pregnant wife would literally sleep on me on Sunday afternoons. It was my only day off when we first got married. She would just crash on top of me on the couch, and I would just lay there with the 64 controller, and I played all the way through 64. Like, and I didn't really know at the time that was like a chore or that people didn't like really like this game very much. But like, I was like, there was some stuff that was kind of brutal. Like, man, I got to collect a lot of stuff before I can move on. But like, it's fine. It's what I got to do. And I look back on those memories like very fondly, like I know maybe the game isn't that great now, but I loved the yellow cart. When I got that game, I actually got it with the green Super Nintendo or the green 64. Which, unfortunately, I ended up selling to my parents, and my siblings wouldn't stop fighting. That my dad ended up taking that 64 and smashing it on the concrete.
Oh, no.
And we still have a good laugh about it to this day. I die inside every time I think about it, but we still have a little bit of a laugh. So yeah.
So Kirby mentions she likes how she rented it from Blockbuster only to find out that she couldn't play it, and that's why I didn't play it.
Oh.
And I know that game was the one that included the expansion pack, I believe.
Yes,
but I was so soured at the expansion pack with the 64, I had just moved on completely to PS1 at that point.
Interesting. See, I loved it. I loved playing Perfect Dark, and
never did.
I was all about it. I think I already had the expansion pack from Perfect Dark, I think, but I don't know. I don't remember.
Well, one of the games didn't come with it, so you could buy it separately, or it was packaged in with. I thought it was DK. Maybe it was Perfect Dark. I don't know.
Yeah, and then you have games like Rogue Squadron that were like, yeah, we'll just run better with it, but you can still play the full thing. Like those Factor 5 was unreal. Those guys were crazy. So Kirby saying Donkey Kong had it. So and because I bought that green system, I think it came with the expansion pack already built into it. So
okay. All right.
Yeah. So I mean, that's I'm going to go back even further to the first time I remember going and finding, like, I think riding the school bus and then meeting some neighbor kids for the first time. And I remember going to my friend David's house. Like I had, just met him and he was like, hey, you want to play Nintendo? I was like, is like Schwarzenegger hard to spell? Like, of course I do. And he had Donkey Kong, and I had seen Donkey Kong, in the arcades on the Atari, but then seeing it on the TV for the first time, that was like, this is awesome. And so we played, and I remember he had the Donkey Kong Classics, the orange cover for that NES cart, not the original black box. And so even that was kind of like rare, and I hadn't seen it before, so there was some excitement there, but, yeah, I've always said fairly fond memories of Donkey Kong. I don't feel like I talk about it all that much because it's usually just overshadowed by Mario and all of his games.
I think he's one of the. I mean, obviously, Donkey Kong's one of the main Nintendo characters. Even people who don't know video games know Donkey Kong, similar to Mario. But yeah, I mean, he's on a slightly lower tier than Mario, which everyone else is, anyways. That's it's Mario. But can I talk about a spin-off that came from Donkey Kong that turned into the best racing game of all time?
I guess.
Diddy Kong Racing on the Nintendo 64. It was the best kart racer, best racing game of all time, and it's all thanks to Donkey Kong. So, if you haven't played Diddy Kong Racing 64, think of back in the Nintendo 64 era, having a game that had open world. You can explore this world. You can use a cart. You can use a hovercraft, and you can fly. Okay. And on top of that, there's boss battles. Oh, yeah. There's regular racing. There's secrets to be unlocked. There's secret characters. You could play as a secret time trial character that most people didn't know about. That game was next level. It's the greatest kart racer. I'll fight anyone. I don't care. So there you go.
Well, I will say I did play that game quite extensively. Couple funny stories with that game. First, I was like, I used to get super frustrated with it, having to to progress, and it was like, why isn't this easier? Why can't I just win races and move forward? Didn't you have to find certain things? And I just remember the giant pig that you had to fly into his mouth and all. I don't know. Mm-hmm. I remember some things about it that frustrated me. We played a ton of it. The battle mode was a lot of fun. Like, we would jump between Mario Kart and Diddy Kong all the time. It was a blast with 4 people. Super fun. That game ended up coming out again on the DS. Okay, so I think it was last year we were doing a garage sale, cleaning out the garage, and my boys, who, when they were little tykes, had DSs, and they would have games, of course, right?
Yeah,
well,
naturally.
Their car seats, when I would shake them, I could hear this rattling around inside the car seats all the time, and I'm like, at some point, I need to bust these things open to see if I can. Because what happens is they had a cup holder that would slide in and out. They would drop their game in, put the cup holder in, and then, I don't know, we go over a bump or just moving it from car to car. Now there's all these things rattling inside. What is this? So I take my hammer and I smash these car seats open. And Well, I find Call of Duty DS. I find Transformers DS. I find some other DS games. Oh, and there's Diddy Kong Racing. I've been wondering where this game is forever. And it was inside my kid's car seat, So, pro tip, parents, look out, check your kids' car seats for DS games or Switch games, even, if that's the thing, because it's pretty easy to lose them. So, but I want to read any other Donkey Kong memories before I read some of the memories here?
No. Go ahead.
All right. Well, first is from Super Nintendo here. And it says, I still remember getting Donkey Kong 64 the day it came out and really enjoyed the first hour or so. After that, I couldn't stick with it. I've tried to go back a few times over the years and bounced right off of it. Now for a good memory. Donkey Kong Country Returns on 3DS. I was playing that with my youngest on my lap, and he kept waiting to play and have me take over if he died too many times. He's going to love Funky Kong mode on Nintendo Switch. Oh, that's awesome. Very, very cool. I have a few other memories here I'm going to grab from the Discord. Give me just 1 second to locate that. Okay, here we go. Here's Nintendo David 64. It says, my favorite memory is playing the first Donkey Kong Country on SNES with my brother. We used to fight over who got to play the level with the minecarts. Also, non-video game related, I used to love watching the movie Donkey Kong Country Legend of the Crystal Coconut. It's terrible but amazing all at the same time. Oh my gosh. If I can find a link for the Crystal Coconut, I will put it in the show notes so you guys can check it out.
Have you seen it?
No, I've never even heard of it.
Yeah, okay. So I felt like a total loser over here, but I'm happy to know I'm not.
Was it voiced by Peter Cullen?
Probably. Why not?
So, okay, here we go. This is from Esco Richard. It says, my memories of playing DK game, including the NES arcade, though Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze is being calm. Oh, okay. Here, I understand what he's saying here. It's being calm, playing it first, then getting aggressively angry because of how difficult it got. So that was his first memory with Tropical Freeze, which is true, guys. That's why the Funky Kong mode is there. Like they kind of pitched it for speedrunners, but it's really easy mode. Okay, it's easy mode. So, just be ready for that, and maybe set up. I was listening to the Nintendo Power podcast today, and they're like, "Hey, set up 2 saves. So if you start to get frustrated with the game, because it can be difficult, switch over to the other one. Switch over to Funky Kong, and just be able to keep playing on through, so you can have fun."
I think Shell Shock said that he got to demo it at PAX, and it wasn't that easy either. It wasn't like, Kirby where you can play it on your commute into work, right? It wasn't that easy. So it sounds like it's still challenging. You can't just be totally horrible at the game and expect to win. So that's good.
Here we go. This is from Johnny Cage 85. Playing through the first DK Country with my dad, and him being the only one of us then who could beat minecart carnage and madness. So much fun playing through the game with him. Nate the Anarchist. Well, I never played the standalone DK games, but I do recall always playing as Donkey Kong in Super Mario Sluggers. And sometimes my father would play the game with me as DK or Bowser. Not sure if that really counts, but it's the first thing I think of when I think of Donkey Kong. Donkey Kong is the gateway to warmer and happier times. That's awesome, dude. Very good. This is from Kirby Geek. It says, I guess this still counts, but mine is when my cousin and I found a copy of Donkey Kong Land 2 for the Game Boy at a yard sale. It was inside a Game Boy that was being sold, so I took the game out to ask the lady how much it cost, and she clearly had no idea how much games cost and said 50 cents. We each had a quarter and bought it. Was technically the first game I bought with my own money. That is super cool.
That's a great first memory.
That is awesome. Very, very cool. And she goes on to say we were actually pretty civilized too, taking turns and such when the other would die. And we both ended up beating the game. So
nice.
And both of our names are on the back of the cart. Mine is listed second for some reason, even though I found it.
It gets better and better.
I love that. It's so cool. So cool. Okay, here's from Tadawaka. It says, my story. A couple of weeks before Donkey Kong on SNES came out, my mom came home with something for me. She worked at the post office, and sometimes they had promotional items that didn't have addresses on them, which was normally just thrown away. This time, though, she brought a small box home. It was a VHS cassette, which was a promotional video for Donkey Kong. It was basically a developer commentary on the whole game that was sent out to Nintendo Club members or something like that. We didn't have the SNES at the time, but I must have watched that tape 25 times. The graphics were out of this world, and the gameplay looked insane. The first time I played Donkey Kong, it felt just surreal. Playing the game I had waited for so long and knew so much about. I watched a promotional tape like a madman before the game came out, and the game lived up to my expectations. Whoa. That's awesome. That is awesome. Well, hey guys, thank you so much for writing in. Every week, guys, the questions for the show are posted in the Discord or on my Patreon, so you can check them both places. Discord is n64josh.com/Discord, patreon.com/n64josh, where you can see those questions posted. Okay, well, this is an NPC mini. I know we didn't get to any of the sales or anything like that, but we're going to get into the giveaway, and then we're going to wrap this thing up, and we will get caught up next week. We have a lot of talking points for next week. It's going to be pretty exciting. I will say this, I'm going to have a link in the show notes to an article I put out today that kind of just briefly touches on Nintendo's most recent financial summary and kind of a Q&A, and you can actually read the whole thing if you want. It's 8 pages of a PDF, but it's on n64josh.com. I will link to it in the show notes. It's on the front page right now if you guys want to check it out. So
when are we doing the E3 prediction stream? Is that going to be the week after next probably?
I believe so. Yeah.
Okay.
Let's
be on the lookout for that. That'll be fun and full of speculations. Maybe Josh and I can see a competition to see who gets more things right or something. I don't know. We'll have to come up with something. That's
kind of the idea. We're gonna brainstorm with the community in Discord. I kind of want to get almost like a kind of put together a sheet that everybody could fill out. And then we could all kind of grade it and see who ends up getting the closest. And maybe we'll make some kind of a prize or something. Whoever gets the best prediction. So I just want it to be something that's fun. So all the details for that we'll talk about more, but they will be discussed in the Discord if you want to get in on that conversation. So let's get to the giveaway, guys. I'm just gonna jump in here.
There's no giveaway music. You don't have like special music for the giveaway.
Well, we can go into the giveaway segment with. How about that? How about that? So we're gonna do a keyword, and we're just gonna do DK. So guys, just type in DK. DK. Type it right now. Type DK in chat, and you will be entered to win. DK. There you go. Everybody type DK. That is how you will be entered to win. While they're typing DK.
Yes.
I want to remind everybody, First Look Friday, tomorrow morning, 6 a.m. We're going to be looking at 2 different indies. Lightfall, and I can't remember the name of the other one, forgive me, but it looks pretty cool. It's a side scroller that you kind of use color. So come check that out. 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. There will be a YouTube video following those streams if you miss them. If you just want to check out the gameplay. So,
did you say Lightfall?
Is that the right name? Lightfall.
Is that the game that we both got?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Lightfall, and then the other one is like Nil Lumbra. Nihilumber.
Just say it really fast.
Nihilumber. Yeah. It's Nihilumbra. So Nihilumbra, I guess. It looks pretty cool. So I'm excited to jump into that one as well.
Hey, big question. When are you going to play Dandara? Y'all don't even know about Dandara.
That's right. Okay, here we go. Let's see. We're rolling it right now. Here it is for a copy of Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze on the Nintendo Switch with Funky Kong. 3, 2, 1. There we go. Addisoul 6. Hopefully I said your name right.
Hey, congrats.
Congratulations. You are now the proud owner of Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. Go ahead and whisper me on Twitch here or on Discord, or you can message me on Twitter. My DMs are open. And thank you, everybody, for being here live. We love you. We really do. It is a pleasure to hang out with you guys. So, Eric, where can we find you?
You can find me on Twitter. That's it. No, Discord. Definitely interact with us on Discord. Community is growing. It's a lot of fun. There's way better people on Discord than just Josh and I. Our community has grown so far beyond us. It's amazing. So do that. Twitter at hate00 with an X.
All right, guys, you're going to follow me on Twitter at N64Josh. Remember, the pinned tweet has details on how to win the $60 eShop card. Go check that out. It's a Gleam competition. The winner will be picked on June 1st. So, and I think it's going to be I want to try to make it a monthly thing that we do. So, go check that out at N64Josh. Of course, guys, you're going to find me on all other social media: Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Patreon, Snapchat, Vero, all the above. Smash Bros. Cast recording tonight at 10 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I know it's late, but if you're a night owl and you want to come hang out while Nightcrawler and I talk Smash, you can do that. You can also listen to that podcast on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, and Podbean, soon to be Spotify. Remember, audibletrial.com/NPC. Get yourself a free book from Audible. Check out, Ready Player One or Super Mario, How Nintendo Conquered America. OP Seat. Guys, remember, right now, the Master Series is $20 off. Use my coupon code. Take another $10 off. Coupon code's N64Josh. We also have a Nintendo Powercast t-shirt. You guys got to check that thing out. They look pretty slick. Go to n64josh.com/store. Remember, we want to hang out with you guys in Discord, n64josh.com/Discord. And lastly, if you're enjoying this show, please rate and review on iTunes. We would really, really, really appreciate it. I'm excited for Tuesday. I can't wait to chat again. Are you going to make it this week? Anything coming up that we need to be aware of? Because
there is nothing coming up that I've been told about.
That's good. So, nothing like putting them on the spot, right, guys?
Yes, I will be there. Of course, I'll be there.
Awesome. I'm really glad to hear that. So remember, guys, I will be streaming Donkey Kong Country 12:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time tomorrow. If you guys want to ask questions about that game or just come hang out. Saturday morning Splatoons between 8 and 9. We're doing Splatfest. Team Leo, come out. We'll swap people in and out. We'll play together. I can't wait. So thank you for being here live. Thank you for listening. You guys are really just the best. That's all I can say. They're the best. They're the best.
They are the best.
And,
you are the best.
We'll see you guys in the next one. Later.